Hello everyone and welcome back to the Cardonomics YouTube channel. So today I just wanted to discuss a couple of Japanese sets from two different card games. We're going to cover Pokemon 151. It's up around 40% from about a week ago, so it's making some big moves. The other one I want to really point out is, OPO 9 New Emperor, which is the new One Piece set that released over the weekend. That's had gains from the low point of around 30% as well. So I just wanted to point out the opportunity that's still in these card games, particularly in Japan, and we'll go over a few other sets just to see, the difference in, the quality of the sets, or, is it worth investing in certain sets or not, and what are the best times to get in. And we'll also go over, sentiment at the time, and just see if we can, find reasonable windows to get in and out, and try and sort of come up with a plan to execute that plan and stick to it and get the emotion out of it. So, before I get into the charts, I just want to say if you are enjoying my content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the videos if you like the videos, and also share the channel around if you think other people will be interested in the work I'm doing. So, without further ado, we'll get into the charts. Okay, so before I get into the charts, I'm just going to tell you guys about the website I'm using. Keepa.com tracks Amazon sales data. It doesn't do AU as of yet, but it has all the other main ones, such as America, Japan. It's got the UK. I'm pretty sure there's a few huge markets there that it does track. I'll take you quickly through what it can do. So you can search for a product here. 151 search. We can pick the first one here. This is the Ultra Premium Collection in English. We can untick these. We can go all 431 days worth of data, and this would give us, sales data from Amazon, since the release of it. Then we can either go, track product. We can set a value here, so like $90, $90. This is for a new 90. We can start tracking for a year, and this is going to add it, to my email here. You can even get it sent to your Telegram. There's all these options here to get notified if the price drops below your threshold or whatever you set. So it's a pretty cool website. Look into it and have a play around. I highly recommend it. But let's get into the charts now. We'll start off with Japanese 151. As I said before, the prices started to move again. So we'll try and paint a picture here from what happened at the start. 151, started, took off early. Retail for this set, I believe, is 5,800 yen. So we didn't even see those prices, internationally. So here we got, huge run up, huge demand for this set, highly anticipated set. Peaked at around 29,000 yen, let's just say. And again, this isn't a reflection, one to one of the Japanese market, but this is, Amazon data, which will just give us how much things sold on Amazon on the platform. So yeah, like this huge run up was just shows you the demand of this set. We did receive a reprint here, I'm going to assume, and this is your first opportunity you got to get in, from the highs. So it didn't drop too much. It just shows the demand of the set. It's still highly in demand today. But I'm just trying to paint a picture for back here, just to see where the opportunity was, and how you can sort of play it with what information back then. So again, we go run up a little bit again. Another reprint. At this phase here, the Pokemon Center in Japan were doing a print to demand model where you could order one off the website at retail. So that made it accessible, at the time for locals. There was a huge problem. Secondary market sellers or scalpers, whatever you want to call them, they were buying up all the product. A lot of it was going abroad. It wasn't ending up in the hands of, the next generation, or the local scene, local consumers. The next, the kids in Japan need to get a hold of this product at accessible prices. That's the future generation. It's going to keep the game going, and they recognize that, and that's why this drastic action happened here. Look, at the time, I didn't get into 151 at the start. I seen the opportunity on the first reprint. You know, this is probably one of the first Japanese sets I opened. I wasn't really into Japanese Pokemon at the start of my journey. So my introduction was a good one. I really loved the way that they engineered the set, and it really got me, going into the Japanese scene and really looking at the markets, and just it was another thing that I learned and enjoyed learning about. But it does come with its sort of learning curves, let's say. And yeah, like I learnt lessons pretty quick. So I bought down here. Again, it reprinted, I bought down here. And, since all this reprinting happened here, there was a lot of speculation that, are they going to keep printing this set? Are they going to stop printing it? They've already printed so much. We didn't really get the huge reprints that we've seen today with all the Scarlet and Violet errors until this happened. So again, like the data wasn't clear. You don't know this stuff until it sort of happens or it's about to happen. So you can only plan for what information you have at the time. So I just took advantage of reprints here. You're getting in a highly above retail, which is risky. But at the time, that was what I planned to do, and I executed that plan. And I always had in my plan that if we did reprint that, I'd buy on the way down, and try and get the bottom here. So we did get this reprint. This phase here was the first reprint. We sort of bottomed and then we shot back up overnight. So that caught a lot of people off guard. And that's why I tell people, buy on the way down and get more aggressive the lower it gets, because we don't know where the bottom's going to be. And you're going to keep moving your targets down because, the feeling when this happens, like you could just throw your plan out the window because you think it's going lower. You don't want to pay higher prices. You want to try getting at the bottom and then boom, flicks back up and then you miss it. And then all of a sudden you're foaming back up here. But, this phase didn't last too long. We got news of another reprint. We started heading down again, till we finally bottom, around, say, June. And we had all this time here where 151 bottomed. So this was a great opportunity to buy. Is a boring phase. Like a lot of people lose interest here, because it felt so bad, doing this. We didn't know where the bottom was going to be. We might, be stuck up here at higher prices. But, for me in this set, I have to analyze each set, for what it is and create my plan, based on where I think it's going. And I'm always a long-term mindset investor. So, any opportunity to add to my position through here was a welcome one for me because, I can outhold, most people, with my investments because that's my plan. I've got the capital to do so, but you need to, create your plan based on your own personal circumstances and try and, keep all the emotion out of it. And just when your triggers get hit, when your targets get hit, you need to act, and you'll learn quickly whether it was the right thing or the wrong thing, and next time you can adjust, and that's how we tweak our plans to get better for the next time. There's no better way. No one's gonna time the bottom every time. If you do, it's luck. It's not really skill. So, with that in mind, the opportunity here is where we've reached 13,500 yen today. It could have been bought back down here for as low as 80, 90,000 yen. So it's a pretty decent return if you did accumulate here. And now we're starting to run up again because we haven't heard any reprint news. So people are starting to FOMO back into the product. And that's another opportunity because, products are most liquid, when they're going back up. So if you bought enough here, you could, in your plan, you could say, well, I'm going to sell half or a percentage of my holdings. I'm going to take advantage of this because I anticipate another reprint in the future. And, how I get to that conclusion is I like to give sets a 2-year window. This set's about 15 months old, so I do anticipate, another reprint, could be more than one. We could see lower prices, anything's possible. But I'm still going to take advantage of, things going up because I hold a few hundred boxes now. That was part of my plan, and now I can, sell a few and take some profits. And if we do go lower, we do get another reprint and this happens again, I can just, reaccumulate and buy more. And I do plan to hold a lot of my holdings, for, a few years, 3 to 5 years at least. So that's how I'll play 151 at this stage. let's get on to the next one. Vstar, another opportunity. So high class set come out December in 2022. I've done another analysis on high class sets, the last three before this. So Shiny Treasure, V Star, and Shiny Star V, I believe. They all seem to bottom around that 5 to 6 months in mark. So that's a nice data point to take note. Again, circumstances are a bit different here. Pokemon didn't have their finger on the trigger with the reprints as hard as they do now. Shiny Treasures, the latest one, the last one they released in December's, got absolutely hammered because, the demand hasn't been nowhere near as great for how much they've printed. So the supply is just, way too much for the demand. Hence why you have these bottom prices, but that's an opportunity nonetheless. It's just going to take a lot longer for the price to recover. But anyway, let's talk about Vstar. So 5, 6 months in, we've got this opportunity here. If we bought Vstar here, we can take opportunity up here in the first, up phase, the first, what we call FOMO phase, or whatever you want to call it. So people here are FOMOing to the product because, again, no one expects the reprint, or for whatever reason, people think that we're not going to get a reprint and they want the product before it goes even higher. That's the emotion and the mentality behind it. But we get the reprint, and again, we got another, second chance to get in again. So in our plan, we can say, all right, let's buy 50 boxes here, or 5 boxes, or whatever the budget allows, or whatever you plan to buy, and let's sell 50%, on the first up phase. So if we don't get a reprint, we've still got 25 boxes. We've made a good profit, and so be it. We'll look elsewhere for another opportunity. But okay, we get a reprint, bang, we get another opportunity to buy. We can reload, and we're going to get the opportunity to sell again, up here. So, there was 2 good buying opportunities and selling opportunities, and now, we get another reprint, and we find ourselves down here again. So, you can notice that every time it bottoms, it makes this like little bowl sort of pattern on a chart. We see the same thing here. So that's how we can sort of identify, okay, we're starting to do this here, so we're starting to move back up again. So every time that happens, we can sort of say, all right, well, that's a similar pattern to here and similar pattern to here. Maybe we're at the bottom, but we should still plan to buy on this down phase here and accumulate what we can to take advantage of what's coming next. Now, are we going to get another V-Star reprint? It is possible. We just got a Lost Abyss Paradigm Trigger reprint, which those sets released before V-Star, so I'm still open, to a reprint up until, December this year, which, if that doesn't happen by then, it's a lot less likely. But yeah, look, this is still opportunity range. You can still buy V-Star, around 9,000 yen, 9,500 yen, whatever it is. But people here were happy to pay 16,000, 19,000 yen. So, it's going to get back to that level eventually. And that's a decent return, it's 100% return if we get back to here. So another great opportunity that's right here and now with V-Star. Next one, Lost Abyss. This one moved a bit differently, so different circumstances, different scenario to how Pokemon were printing the sets. The best time to get into Lost Abyss was, near the start of the release. And we just had a huge upwards trend, for about a year, just straight up. This hit 32,000 yen, which is, over $300 Australian. So I didn't get into Lost Abyss at this stage. I wasn't really looking at Japanese as an investment back here. I was, concentrating on other things. But, here we are, up here, no opportunity until we get to the reprint here. So I bought Lost Abyss down here, took advantage of the reprint because I know, 1, popular set, 2, very, very unlikely we're going to see another one because it's, getting on 2 years old now. So this is a great opportunity for Lost Abyss. So we're still at pretty low prices, still accessible now at these prices. So another opportunity in Pokemon. And again, it's boring, no one's talking about it, but this is the perfect time to get in. So we'll go to One Piece now. So OPO9 doesn't have any data. We can't really look at a chart because it's just released. But what we can do is, well, what set is comparable to OPO9? So OPO9 New Emperor, we got 4 mangas. We got a gold manga for the first time, and we've got a array of other beautiful SB cards one to post. There's a lot of value packed inside that set. It's probably the biggest set we've seen in One Piece to date. The only comparable set is OPO5, We had the three mangas. We had the Luffy Gear 5 manga, which is, the most expensive manga to date. We've also got the Oda signature card, which is another very big card in the set. So there's four big cards, that are in that set, and that's why we see the chart, in an uptrend here. The demand's still, pretty high for the set. Even after, multiple reprints, we still see prices elevated from, what retail price was. So, again, opportunity for OPO 5 was after release. I think, looking at the circumstance back then, One Piece was picking up steam. It was getting, very popular, still is popular, but I don't think there was as many consumers now as there was back then. Oh, sorry. I mean, there was less consumers back when OPO 5 was out compared to now. So the demand's increased due to, the amount of people that are interested in One Piece. And, that dynamic there, since the printing of the sets hasn't really changed, like the capacity hasn't increased at all, I believe. So the opportunity for OPO 9 was actually early on before release. So I bought in at around 83,000 yen for a case. I believe now it's about 109,000 yen a case. So that's a decent, increase of about 30%. So, we can sort of, come back down to here then as that, low of OPO 9 and how, OPO 9 might act now before we get the next reprint at the end of the month. So reprint at the end of the month for OPO 9, but we're going to get this run up like OPO 5 had. And here, if you did get in early in OPO 9, this is opportunity. We're going to run up all the way until the reprint. So, we might go up another 10-20%. We might be able to see, slightly lower prices when the reprint comes, but because the set's so in demand, we're not going to see these prices again. We're just going to get a little dip like this. So we'll say 11,000 yen at the bottom and peaked at 13.5. Not a huge decline, but again, this is the biggest set, since, One Piece, started their TCG. So, who knows what the limit is. But if you did miss out and you wanted to invest in this set, well, look, now's a good time. 109,000 yen still isn't a bad price compared to where it can be. Because if we look at today, like, we'll go through the opportunity here anyway. So OPO 5, run up, reprint, we can buy again, run up again, reprint again. So we get down to these prices here per box, and now we're up again. So if we don't see a reprint again for OPO 5 and the demand still stays relevant, well, this can keep going up. And OPO 9 is going to be the same. So we're going to receive one reprint now. The window here is a couple of months between reprints, so we can probably anticipate another one at the end of the year for OPO 9. And that could be another opportunity to buy before this happens again. So yeah, I expect OPO 9 to run up, more from where it is today. So I just want to shine a light on that opportunity and sort of the difference between, what the climate here was for One Piece as to what it is today, and why, OPO 9 was cheaper before release, where OPO 5 was cheaper after. Just a couple of things to consider in your plan. So we've got to move with the, with the times and what the demand is at the time. And we've got to really take into account, has the supply changed? I don't believe it has. So when the demand increases, we're going to see prices move up a lot quicker. So I'll leave it there for today. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you on the next one.